Likeify and join the super fans if you can. All right.
Is the Miss
Now, I had a couple of things to do. That's why I'm getting on here.
So like, if I share, if I bless, if I the flow, is the Miss Knockout Show. Now you already know. Hot topics, music, info, and more. If you ain't tapped in, what you came here for? MKO got the vibe, that's a full takeover. From beats to biz talk, yeah, the queen stay in clover. Trending every lane, I'm the glow you can't block. When I drop gems, whole chat goes shock. We don't do brokeify, now we amplify. Stay blessed-ify, let the energy fly. Hit that tapify, keep it all in the flow. Cause it's a Miss Knockout Show. Knockout Show, hot topics, beats and the glow. You rockin' with a Miss Knockout. Let's go. Let's fuck.
Shootification that went on. That's a really, really sad story. A lot of innocent children involved. And it's just like a lot of sad things going on in the world today. And, we just gotta, man, we gotta just like, we got to, we gotta take control of our environment because there's a lot of crazy things going on. People are getting with, you know how many stories I came about, right? You know how many stories I came about as I'm going through the Ashley Janae case, where these young girls are going on vacation and then coming back in a box, you know what I'm saying, or coming back unalived. And I've run through a couple of stories like that, you know what I'm saying? And this week, we're going to go through some of them stories because Ashley Janae is getting a lot of light with her story. She's getting a lot of light, right? And I feel like other people deserve light too to their story. You know what I'm saying? One young lady, she is from Miami, which is very similar to Ashley Janae. And she went on vacation with her family and her sister and some friends. They went out and they partied, right? And then they were supposed to go. They met some guy in wherever they was at. They met a guy, right? And they all, he dropped them off. Everybody was going home. And then everybody else decided to go in, but the one girl decided to continue partying with the guy that she just met, right? So she continues partying with the guy that I'm just giving the whole story away. But we're still going to watch the story because it's very interesting. And what I was saying to myself is, these stories are happening more and more often where we find, right, that women, right, and maybe even men, we can't discriminate, maybe even men too, are going away on these vacations and not making it back home or to see the light of day. It's happening more and more often, and especially with these young women, because was mentioned in the story, right, that the young man, presenting himself, look like money and stuff like that. Some guys just got that look that girls want to know better. Curiosity killed the cat, literally. And we're seeing more and more in these stories every day where these young girls are going off with people that they barely know. People can put on masks these days. And as we grow older, all right, let's go to Tapper's Lounge. Let's go to Tapper's Lounge, y'all. Everybody tap, everybody share, everybody join the super fans. We're on the Y to the Tubesy. We're on the face to the Booksies. All right. And we are, let's see what we got over there. Hey, Lashana's over there. And we on the link to the ends, and we're on the XEXEXEs, and we're on even on the Twitchification. Okay, we're all over. All right. Welcome to the Miss Knockout Show, everybody. I know I've been a little off with the schedule, right? But we got things happening in real life and moving, which you will find out about in a little time to come. But I always come back with the goods and the effects and the entertainment and the content and whatever you need as we proceed. All right? So everybody blessify Miss Knockout so she won't be brokified. Now, we're going to go into LaShonda's story. I meant we're going to go into the Ashley story first, right? Because there's, some new updates, some more people speaking out. Hey, Naja, thank you. More people are speaking out. All right. If you're on the Y to the Tubesy, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. All right. And more things are coming out. Joe has been really super, super quiet. One thing that stands out in my mind. Hey, what's up? Hey, Aileen. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much. Hey, Deshaun. Thank you, Deshaun. Thank you, everybody coming in. I see you. One thing that stands out in my mind, right, is in the real world, in the real picture, if you have a fiance that you just proposed to and something very gravely happened to them, you would show some kind of sorrow. You would say something. You would show endless support to the parents and family. You know what I'm saying? But this man, and everything is alleged from the time Miss Knockout opens up the room and from the times I press the button to go, everything is all alleged. This man has said little to nothing to anybody but the Popo, I'm sure he spoke to the Popo. I'm sure they had a conversation with him. I'm pretty sure they didn't take his passport and hold him in there for nothing, right? And the other thing that sticks in my mind before we go along is that and you will see that it is mentioned that this place has a camera system and a up-to-date camera system, up-to-date state-of-the-art camera system, right, of the movements in there. You got a lot of VIPs, you got a lot of movers and shakers coming through, right? And they do have a camera system. So my thing is, well, where is this footage at? Where is this footage at? Is the police reviewing it? Are they going over it? Are they, holding it, going over it from evidence? Maybe they don't want to show it to the public because it might hinder something. I don't know. But, once said video is introduced, then I think that we will see a lot that we were always questioning on our mind on what we need to know. because the tapes ain't gonna lie. The video footage ain't gonna lie. You on camera ain't gonna lie, right? So everybody that's coming in, we'll do a little backstory on what we're talking about and who we're talking about, so we can move on to the updates. All right. Thank you, Slay Braids. Everybody, thank everybody coming in. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the live. I'm your host, Miss Knockout. You can also watch this back on all platforms. And everybody that's coming in, if you were in here in the beginning, that was my song, Knockout, coming with the heat. You can get it on all platforms. Stream it, put it on your playlist, save it. All right. We need all the push that we could get and get them numbers up. So now, Ashley Janae, right, was a model from Miami. From Miami she lived, but she's originally from New Jersey, right? Now, before we start this off, there's a lot of misconceptions flying around on the internet. I go around when I'm off, and I do a lot of research. When I'm not on live, I'm doing a lot of research on stuff that I'm covering. And what I noticed, that everybody developed their own little storyline on who this woman is, what she did, how her love life is structured. And, it's a classic case of people that don't know someone, but think they know everything about them, right? So me doing my research, and I will play a couple of clips. I'm going to go over a lot of clips too, all right? But I want to go over my notes first, and then we'll go over the clips, right? And pull up some receipts. But through my research, I have learned. Thank you, Tania. Hey, how you doing? Thank you. Everybody get your heart me. Everybody get your heart me, and everybody blessify Miss Knockout, so she won't be brokified, because you're getting a lot of good content right now. You're getting a lot of good content, okay? So I'm going to keep coming back here, bringing you this good content. So blessify Miss Knockout, so she won't be brokified. Go and join the super fans, all right? Get your daily heart, all righty? So in my research, thank you so much, Tania. Thank you. Hey, New Life. Hey, what's up, New Life? What did I miss there? Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you. I appreciate everybody blessify me. Thank you, Jillian. Thank you, Tania. Thank you, New Life. So everybody coming on in, we're going into the Ashley Janae case first, with her so-called fiance, Joe McCann, right? So in my research, what I found was, I went to her Instagram, I went to her Facebook, I went to all her pages and did some digging, and then I have a clip to watch that's going to explain everything to you and lay it out, right? The same thing I found is that all those pictures that she was putting on her Instagram and her social media was from her job. You see, this girl was a model, right? And she had contracts with different companies because, she's a very beautiful girl, right? And with people acquiring that beauty, you attract certain contracts. And she had a contract with a flower company. She had a contract with a bathing suit company. And she had she did videos with music artists. That's why she was with Kevin Gates. And she had a lot of contracts. And when she would go on these photo shoots, she would take the pictures and she would put it on her social media, right? So fast forward to now, people are assuming that this is her sugar daddy flying her around. This is somebody spending money on her flying her around. Oh, she's chasing guys with money. But in all actuality, this girl is actually working as a model, making her own money, putting the pictures on her social media. The picture with the roses, she works for that rose company. I'm going to pull up the names in a minute. The pictures of her in bikinis and in Dubai and all these places, she's working as a model with all these photographers. Right? So people drew up the misconception that she was an E worker, an S worker. Well, she's not, friends confirmed that she's not an S worker. She's not, doesn't work. They said she worked in the Miami club. That's why we got to be very careful on what we read and how we perceive things. Because one day we're going to perceive something that's pertaining to our life and get it twisted, and it's going to affect us. We got to be very careful. So the internet decided that this girl was a 304. She was an E worker. She worked in the Miami clubs. She was chasing a sugar daddy. In all actuality, she was a model that was working, that was putting the pictures from her photo shoot on her social media. So it looked like she was jet setting and traveling and going with the sugar daddy or whatever y'all was saying. But in all actuality, those was her work pictures. Now, it also came out, I don't know, I can't verify this, so I'm going to say allegedly, that she actually wanted to go on this trip and paid to go on this trip. We're talking about Ashley Janae case. Come on in. Come on in. How you doing there? Everybody coming in, we're talking about the Ashley Janae case. How you doing there? What's up, Kim? Hey. So, see how things could be misconceived? So this girl is a model who takes all the pictures from her photo shoot and puts them on her social media. And then the internet world says she's a 304. She's riding, her sugar daddy is flying her around and doing all these things. And she works in a club in Miami, allegedly, which is not true. So for all we know, she could have really loved this dude. And maybe he was just deceptive. We don't know. That's why I'm going to say once again, everything's a legend in this life. Okay? We're looking at the facts. Right? Hey, Gemma. And everybody wants to know what happened to this young lady. People got daughters. People got sons. You got to worry about your sons too.
Welcome and chat, follow, tap, share, repost, grab your daily thanks.
Thank you so much. Your sons can run off with some woman and she can set him up. It could go both ways. You know what I'm saying? Debauchery doesn't discriminate. So let's give a little backstory for the people that's coming in. All right. As of what's today? Today's the 21st. So this would be 12 days since the tragedy of Ashley Janae, right? Which her name is spelled many ways. Like on my post, I choose to take it from her official social media post. I use the name from there because people spell her name a million kinds of names. I didn't even know you could spell Ashley that many ways. So I just use Ashley Janae. But her real name is Ashley Robinson, right? So which name do you use? It gets kind of confusing, especially when you're trying to look stuff up. I got to look under each name, right? So Ashley Robinson, a.k.a. Ashley Janae, it's been 12 days since this tragedy. And yes, it was a tragedy for people that are hearing this story for the first time. Well, I'm getting ready to snatch these eyelashes off, y'all. I'm ready to snatch these eyelashes. You ever want to snatch your eyelash off, y'all? I just want to snatch it off. I don't know if the glue's not holding right. Anyway, Miss Knockout Wardrobe Malfunction Moments. Thank you very much. So, Ashley Janae was from Jersey, but she went out to Miami for a better life. You know, I guess she had aspirations to be a model. And you know, when you want to be a model, you usually go to Miami. You want to be an actor, you go to California. You want to be on Broadway, you come to New York. Or if you want to be an actor, you could come to New York. You know, but she wanted to be a model, so she went to Miami. And she wound up starting to get a lot of opportunities. See, Ashley was a model and not a 304 and an e-worker like the internet is projecting. Now, if it does come out that she did something in her personal life, hey, that's her personal life. Oh, well. Everybody in life has put their fallopian tubes or beefcake somewhere, right? Who kept their fallopian tubes and beefcake since birth? Put a yes in the comments. Any virgins in the place? Everybody put their fallopian tubes and beefcake somewhere. So I'm sure she has a life, right? But all I'm saying is, you know, you want to give the girl a little credit because she was working hard for the money as a model in all these different gigs, right? Mine's a cut or yours a cut, snippity snip. Some cut, look, sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to take a little snippity snip. You know what I'm saying? A little snippity snip might keep the child support away. Who knows? So this influencer was living a life of her dreams, doing some content which we would call soft life, living a soft life, meaning that you know, she was traveling around, she was jet setting, right? But I'm going to reiterate, hold on, y'all. I'm going to reiterate that she was working and putting the pictures on her social media. So she was jet setting in a sense, yes. In a sense, she was jet setting. But she was displaying the perks of her job. So I'm going to keep reiterating that because I want you to know, you know, when you say to yourself, well, why she didn't have all this money to pay for her funeral? First of all, the parents in the family who are her next of kin, when somebody is unalive, you cannot get to their finances like that. It's just not an open and shut book, right? You can't get to their account like that to cover stuff. It just doesn't work like that. It takes time, right? My eyes tearing up and jumping because there's something wrong with this eyelash. I don't know. Right? So if they can't get to the finances like that, then hold on, y'all. I'm gonna have to take it out. I'm gonna have to take the lens out. If she can't, the family can't get to her finances like that. Hold on. If the family can't, I had to take that lens out, y'all. It was bothering me. If the family can't get to the, how you doing there? What's up, Robert? If the family can't get to the finances like that, then they have to spend their own money to go get this girl's body and bring it back to the States. And plus, while they're over there, they got to find out what's going on. You're not just going over there to retrieve the body. You're going over there to also find out what's going on. Right? So when somebody is unalived, right, the powers that be lock their finances down. Everybody just can't snatch money out of accounts. They can't just get in an account like that. So they can't use her money, even if she had it, to bury her and to do what they got to do. They got to use their own money, right? Thank you so much for the follow, everybody. Thank you so much for the follow. Who's that followed me? Thank you. Let me see. I had to take my contact lens out, y'all. My eye was watering. Thank you, Melanin. Thank you, Melanin. Thank you so much for the follow. So, for everybody that's, not familiar with the story, all right, Ashley Janae was a 31-year-old girl from that lived in Florida, originally from New Jersey. She was a model. She had different accounts with different companies. She took these photo shoots and then put the photo shoots on her social media accounts, and monetized them, which is smart, So people misconceived that and called her a 304 and, oh, you going around your sugar daddy, but everything is not like you see. Sometimes you don't know everything. We don't know this young lady. We're just getting to know. I never, seen her on live or, was privy to a post, But see, we're here to learn, right? So she started dating this guy, Joe McCann, who is a crypto investor, and he owns a company that does like
welcome and chat, follow, tap, share, repost, grab your daily. Thanks.
Yes, grab your daily, y'all. Thank you so much for the 24K. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody get your daily heart. Everybody join the super fans. Everybody tapify, and everybody drop some hashtags in the comments. All right, if you're on the Y to the Tubesy, hit the thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. That's right, you have family in Louisiana. Hey, Spicy Tuna, what's up with you? And so she met Joe McCann, who, is running a successful company at the time, had a lot of change to throw around, and they started dating and going all around on trips. She put pictures on her page, I noticed, but his page is all business. His page was all about his company, and her page was about her, and then she would splash him on there every once in a while. Sometimes it be like that. You know how these guys get. Sometimes the guys want to play around. They want to play around with the hers. They want to play around with the hers a little something. So they don't put you on the page. Greatest love. Hey, what's up, Hancock? Right? So she met him and she started dating him and taking trips and stuff like that. And she's from South Jersey, right? She was turning 31 on April 5th, so she decided that she was going on a trip and wanted to go to Africa, to this place. I'm hearing it was her idea, allegedly. I'm hearing reports that she paid for everything, allegedly, right? And, maybe something that she wanted to do for her birthday. So, but, we have birthday dream trips. Hey, HJ, what's up with you? Hey, we got birthday trips. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got places we want to go. One time I wanted to go to Vegas. I said, I want to spend my birthday somewhere warm. Every year my birthday's cold. It's in February. Well, guess what? I went to Vegas one year, and it was 80-something in New York and 50-something in Vegas. I said, now, how did this happen? So anyway, she decided to go to Africa, Tanzania to be specific, with her boyfriend, Joe McCann, right? So they went to 2 destinations. The first one had animals and stuff. She took all these fabulous pictures of her and the animals, put them on her social media for her birthday. Right? And everybody talks about how these pictures look so nice. They look so staged. Well, remember, she was a model. People keep glazing over that fact. They keep wanting to call her a 304. They keep jumping to conclusions on her life. You know what I'm saying? We weren't hanging with her. We're definitely not up her fallopian tubes. We don't know what she's doing with them. Technically, only thing we know is what we hear. And we know for a fact now that she was a model who had different accounts. You know, everything on social media ain't what it seems. You could go take a picture by a jet and say, I'm catching flights. And meanwhile, you just going to the store to get a ham sandwich. You just live by the airport and you went and took a picture by a doggone private jet. Everything ain't, that's the deception of social media. People can come on social media and be who they want to be. And that's why the girl was actually a model, but the public is calling her 304, a dancer and chasing men with money. And you don't know who this girl was. You don't know her life. You're not in her fallopian tubes. And you don't know what she did on a daily basis. So her friends are coming and talking out. And that's why that one friend that I played the other day was expressing from the bottom of her heart that you don't know her. Y'all are saying the wrong thing about her. That was a whole spills. Hey, Kalila. Hey, what's up, Kalila? That was her whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And I believe her because I did my research. And the girl was a model who took her pictures from her job shoots and put them online. And everybody thought she lived this fabulous life. When all actuality, the girl is just taking that picture and then going back to her telly. Probably. She going back to a hotel. They fly her out. She takes the picture. She go back to the telly. She go home. Now, she goes on this birthday trip.
Layla J. says.
The first trip, the first place, got the animals. She takes all the pictures. She splashes them on her social media. You know, everybody's like, ooh, I didn't know her yet. I seen them after the fact. And then all of a sudden, this girl is unalived. And everybody's just trying to figure out why. Why did this happen to this pretty young lady? Why? I don't care what she did, what she said, what she was. A lot of guys are making a stink online because she said a couple of things about African American men. You know, one of them was the effect of, black men get up and do something every day to embarrass us. Something to that effect, she said. And she said a couple of things. I only seen a couple of things. But, the guys got their panties in a bunch. Willie D said, oh, I'm not going to donate to her. She don't like black men. But at the end of the day, I don't care what a person did. No one deserves to get put in the dirt. No one. And we can all agree on that. Now, they go to the first place. Things go on at the first place with the animals and stuff. The first place is where he got engaged to her. Okay? Then they flew to the next place. And then that's where all the effery happened. So I guess they have some events where they go to dinner. Or you got to eat, right? You're either going to eat in your room or you're going to go out to eat or whatever. And, events took place and they had a big argument. Hey, doctor, thank you so much, doctor. And the question in everybody's mind is, wow, we wonder what this argument was really about. Now, we hear speculations. The staff, I believe, knows probably what the argument is about because they was around. They got ears. What's up, doctor? They got ears. They know what it's about, but everybody's being regulated over there, I feel like the workers are being regulated, the managers being careful, the government is shady boots. What's up, Eloise? The government is shady. And I don't mean matey. Remember I'll keep reminding y'all, Tanzania is not too long ago. They was running the street like wild banshee because the government was corrupt. But you ain't hear from me because I don't gossip. But they was running in the street. They said that government was
probably getting paid too much.
So it's all kinds of stuff going on behind that scenes. But anyway, so they go to the next place. Then reports came out, right? I'm doing good, Robert. That, one of the neighbors or people staying in the villa was saying that, they was arguing every day. And then it got a bit much. And then this one neighbor reported it to the powers that be. The powers that be intervened when they had a big altercation or whatever. We yet to learn if it was an actual hands-on altercation or it was just a verbal. I don't know. So they were separated and he was put 10 minutes away. She was put in her room. They said the attendant came there and said, "Oh, you need anything?" She said, "Come back in 10 minutes." He came back, I think they said in about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. And then they found her on the line. And so now her story picks up legs and it goes worldwide and everybody's trying to figure out what happened to this girl. This is somebody's daughter, this is somebody's friend. What happened to this girl? And, why should they get away from murderation? Why should whoever, if somebody did this to her? Now they're trying to say that it was suicide at first. Read between the lines. Suicide. Just trying to say it was suicide. Nobody don't believe that. The moment I heard that, I just did not believe it. You having a time in your life. It's your birthday. You just got engaged to. Yeah, you're having a little couple of arguments, but you're still having the time of your life. And you're going to go in the closet and take a belt and do what? It just does not make sense. It don't make sense. Even when they say that they found her, it don't make sense. And then they're saying that now it's a discrepancy where they found her. So now we're in a foreign country. We don't know nothing, but thank you, Kimberly. We do not know nothing. What's up, Kimberly? But what people tell us. Because we're not there. We don't know her. We don't know him. So the story is global, and we're trying to find out what's going on. Thank you, Heather L. Thank you. Hey, what's up, Belinda? So me as a sister, saying an aunt, a lot of people got daughters out there. You would want to get to the bottom of this. Why should something have happened to this girl and it be just swept under the rug? Because people don't want to do their job. Now, Africa is a very much pay me type of country. What's up, Boom Like 808? Boom Like an 808. I found another story about a girl from Miami who went on a trip and never came back. Because she went off and from the pack and went with this rich guy. We're gonna do it for story time one day. And it made me think about Aloha. It made me think about when you came up here and you said that's a lifestyle in Miami. And I can tell. There's more than one story. There's more than one Ashley. There's more than one Ashley out there. This is happening more than we think it's happening. There's several.
Jalaya Hay says, good evening.
So, hey, Miss Knockout. Hey, you like my thank you. There's more than one story than Ashley Janae's story.
Us women got to be more careful these days. Evil world.
It's an evil world out there. And I keep saying this, you know what I'm saying? When you meet people, and everybody got to start somewhere. Everybody you met in life, you met them through meeting them.
Charles Nathan 7 ISIS, good evening.
Right? So you got to meet people to get to know people. But sometimes people ain't who you really think they are, especially in the days and the times we live in. People wear these masks, and they get you
Right.
they get you where they want to get you, and then they got you. You know what I'm saying? They got you. So you gotta watch how you move in life. What's up, Lori? Thank you, Oni. Hey, especially if you're a pretty young woman out here. Model material, right? Thank you. Hey, thank you, Jamal. What's up, Jamal? Thank you, Jamal. So everybody coming on in, we're talking about Ashley Janae. We're gonna go to some clips in a little while. I'm just going through my notes, and then we go through clips. We got a lot to go over. A lot of things came up in the story. People are talking. I told y'all, loose lips sink ships. Remember, I told you. I told you a lot of things when you come in here that if you sit and listen and you remember, down the line, you say, wow, Miss Knockout said that was going to happen. Just like I told you that everybody is going to turn on the Mr. T-Man. And what's happening? We didn't even get to that story. Thank you so much for the roses, everybody. Let's fill the gallery up. It's a new day, new Monday, new week. We didn't even get to the Mr. T story is the gift that keeps giving, baby. We need about 24 hours to talk about him. We need to do a Mr. T marathon because he just got the circus going over there. He's in the hot seat. And you know they're having that election. You'll know that they're having that election in Virginia, right? We're going to tune into the election. We're going to rock out today. I gotta do a meeting tonight at 8. That's way later though. Wait, so we ain't going nowhere now. But we need to come back on and talk about this election because this election is very important. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. Oh yeah, what you said? They're gonna have his head right. Well, they get ready to have his head now. Child, we got so much to talk about. We got so much to talk about. It's just that real life is life for me. Good stuff in real life. Good stuff. With the song, everything. Right? But we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk. That's why I gotta start coming on here like twice a day. I gotta come on here like twice a day. Because there's a lot going on. Have you spoken to? We haven't even got to that yet. That's another thing.
Thanks for the follow.
That's right, Lila. We haven't even got to that yet. What's up, Boom? Thank you. Everybody get your orange heart. Everybody tapify. Everybody shareify. Everybody put me in your stories. Everybody put a hashtag in the comments. We need to get to David getting arrested. We talked about it a little bit the other day, but we're going to talk about it some more. That case is coming up. Heating up like a heater. That case got a crazy spin to it. Real quick. Did y'all hear? Now we're gonna go back to Ashley Janae, y'all. All right, because we got a lot to go through. It's a lot of things that people is talking, right? But did you hear? Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. All right, everybody, come on in. I see everybody coming in. What's up, Mimi? Oh, Mimi. Okay, Mimi's on her line. What's up, Slave Braids? Thank you, Slave Braids. So, So yeah, so I told you. Everybody was going to turn on the man that starts with a T, and that's happening right now. And they got the big election tonight is one of the factors that's going to tell how the midterms is going to go. So Obama made a commercial for everybody to go out and vote, because if they win that, then they could start to turn him now, but they already turning him. I told y'all months ago, and I'm going to say it again. And we're going to go back to Ashley Janae. everybody, everybody is gonna turn on that man that starts with T. That everybody around him is going to turn on him one by one. And once all the things come out, because I tell y'all, it always goes back
over here
to loose lips sink ships. And once they turn on him and them loose lips start sinking them ships, then they're going to get him out of there. Trust what I'm telling you. So there's a big election today in Virginia. Where's all my people in Virginia at? Who's from Virginia? Drop it in the comments if you're from Virginia. You better get out and vote. You better get out and vote. We're hoping that the Democrats get the seat and the seats, and they can start. You voted? Well, who you vote for? Okay, you voted. Hey, me, I vote last. You voted last week. That's right. Get out and vote. Because
the world needs a reset. Everything is so high.
If the Democrats win these seats, it's going to help a lot. So we're going to pull up the election later. I think, what time does the polls close, y'all? Somebody put in the comments in Virginia, what time the poll closed in Virginia? So we're talking about Ashley Janae, everybody just tuning in. Okay, it closed at 7? Why so early? Why it close so early? So, Ashley Janae has turned up unalive. Her fiance.
Welcome and chat, follow, tap, share, repost, grab your daily thanks.
That's right. Thank you so much. Thanks, Boom. Her fiance, instead of getting online, expressing his condolences because he's so distraught.
Looking at who you vote for.
Who you vote for, right? You figure he's distraught because his fiance is gone. He gets online and he starts tweetifying about his company and about AI and people who have succeeded in AI. Sir, is you good? You got to ask yourself in your mind, who does that? What kind of person who just got engaged to a woman that is then unalive, right? And you say nothing but get online and talk about your companies and somebody who had an accomplishment in AI. Now, Joe McCann is the CEO at Asymmetric Financial. Okay. It's a Nord Source Microsoft background, right? Now, another thing that came out, because he's in that field and where they work and then they play. And that's what all fields. You know what I'm saying? You think doctors work and then come home and stick their thumb up their behind? No, they got a life. Everybody got a life. And some people got a weird life. Which brings me to the owner of the Zuri Resort. Now, the Zuri Resort is the actual place that she got unalived at. All right. So, let's see. I had them up in my notes. Okay, hold on. Let me pull my notes up again. Everybody come on in. Thank you so much for coming to everybody. It's the Missing Out Show, Continue Live. We're talking about Ashley Janae, Joe McCann case. All right. So everybody come on in. Whoopsie. So you're back. All right. If you want to watch it back, you could go watch it back. And make sure you give a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. Now, I want to the whole time. I'm going to pull up his name in a minute. he has a very foreign name. Okay, Clay Dej Samar. Okay, it's a very, very foreign looking name. It's also spelled Vaclav, Velclav, Dejcmar. I don't know where he's from, but I'll dig it up. All right. Okay, so he's from Czechoslovakia. He's a Czech billionaire, polymath, and visionary.
Dude, hey.
Who owns Zuri Zanzibar luxury resorts, and he owns other clubs. And one of the other things that this owner does is he makes movies about psychedelics. And you know what psychedelics is with the mushroomifications and all that. You take them and then you go all far out. And the guy has these blue, mysterious eyes. And word on the curb is that him and Joe are friends. I don't know. Everything's all alleged. But that's what the word is on the streets. Right? And so this dude makes he's a self-made Renaissance man. We're talking about the hotel owner now. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Whose empire spans high-stakes finance, fashion, cutting-edge contemporary art, provocative documentaries, and deep dives into the darkest corners of the human psyche, including corporate psychopaths and hallucinogenic toad venom. Now, are you meaning to tell me that they're out there taking hallucinogenic toad venom? Can anybody tell me in the comments? We get almost 90 people in the room. Has anybody heard of this? That you take the toad venom? So this dude was into some weird stuff. Okay, Peace said, yeah, you heard of it, Peace? What is it? Is it something that they take? Do they lick the toad's head or something? What is that? They could have slipped up. Oh, yeah? So this dude was into some heavy-duty weird stuff. They said he's into some occult stuff. It's a pharmaceutical. And he does documentaries about psychopathic, corporate psychopaths. That's what his movies is about. And hallucinogenic, mush to the rooms, toad venom. And word on the curb is that he's Joe's friend. And I'm going to tell you, birds of the feather, they do flock together, don't they? Don't they flock together? Because that's some weird stuff, ain't it? And he look him up. He looks like, ooh. He reminds me of if Damien Omen III grew up. Remember that scary movie with Damien, the original? You got to watch the original. Thank you so much. Everybody get your orange heart. We got 72 people in the room. Put some hashtags. Tap the screen. Get your orange heart. Join the super fan. If you're new, make sure you follow me. If you're on the Y to the Tubesy, give a thumbs up, subscribe. We're talking about Ashley, Janae, and Joe McCann. Now, that's the owner. What you laughing at, Kim? He was fixated with black women. Yeah, his ex-wife was an African-American woman. And guess what? He left her, allegedly, while she was pregnant with their second child. So that could tell you that something is not right.
Oh, damn toenails.
Whoa, damn toenails. Something ain't right. If you're gonna leave your wife in the middle of your second kid, what happened?
Whose?
What happened that you gotta leave your wife in the middle of a pregnancy? You gotta be a cold mother. You gotta be a cold mother, right? So now we're at everybody trying to figure out what happened to Ash. What happened to her? Because I don't believe 1 second that this girl went and took herself in some wardrobe and jumped up there and aged herself. I just don't buy it. It just don't sound right. But see, there's all kinds of problems with getting to the bottom of this case. And one of them is that we're dealing with a foreign country. We're dealing with Americans in a foreign country, and the foreign country is a payoff country, bribery, corrupt. And it was said that Joe McCann was very familiar with these places. He frequented them. This isn't his first time in these places. He knows people in these places. He allegedly have other hers in his places. And word on the curb is that he was effing women in the same villa that they were staying at. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Boom. Thank you. Hey, Sherry. Thank you, Oni. Thank you so much for the music made. Thank you. That was cute. And they're saying that's what the argument was about. But I feel like her mouth was so spicy that she probably said something that cut way below the belt. Or probably knows something that they don't want other people to know. We don't know. I believe more stuff is going to come out. I believe it. Now, there's also talks that 10 people got arrested, including one of his friends, Joe McCann, got arrested. Is he still being held for questioning? That's quite a few days there for questioning. I don't think is any word of him being released. I think we would have heard that. Okay. They showed the villa. No way she hung herself. Yeah. In some closet, right, Layla?
Dang.
Is the parents there now? I don't think the parents are there yet. I haven't heard word that the parents are there yet. Okay. Now, let's get into some info clips. Everybody come on in, make yourself comfortable.
The bathrobe time.
It's the Miss Knockout Show. All right, everybody come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I can't get over that.
So a cause of unalivement allegedly was cerebral hypoxia due to strangulation suffocation, right? And at first they ruled it a suicide, but they're trying to get to, but nobody believes that. Nobody believes that. All right. So let's see. Let's go to some stuff. Everybody keep tapping. Thank you so much.
How are you going to hang yourself with a bathrobe tie?
Right? They said a belt. They said they're saying so many things.
Miami.
Battery 100%. Connected to HY300 Pro and NICHELLEVRACY.
All right, Joe, we gotta wait.
My son smells too fresh and he's too hot.
Right, Joe. Come on in, everybody. Tapify, everybody. Sharefy. Welcome to the
When everything on the IHOP value menu is just $6,
We're
you
talking
can go
about
ahead
Ashley
with
Jeanette.
eggs, bacon, and fluffy pancakes for
Everybody
just
come
$6 every day. And OMG, there's a new BLT, and it comes with fries. Celebrate every day for just $6 with the IHOP value menu.
All right. So we gotta wait till the
Discover
commercials
how
go.
quality sleep on the right
Everybody
mattress
come on
can
in. I see
transform
you.
your day.
Thank you
Plus,
so
enjoy
much. I
Sunday
hope
two-month
everybody gets
financing
that
on
orange
in-store mattress
heart.
purchases of $1,049.
Everybody join the super
Sleep
fan.
better, feel better,
Join the
live
Discord.
better at Raymore Flanagan.
All right, we're gonna wait till the commercial goes and then we're gonna go.
So yeah.
All right. Hold on.
Não custa nada.
All right.
They could have met, who knows how they met, but I know that Ashley did love those
Okay, so
men.
What state were
so
you
we
in?
gotta go back.
We were in Jersey.
Okay, we gotta go back, y'all. All right, everybody come on in. So we're gonna listen to some clips now, and we're gonna get a lot of updates. All right. Thank you so much for the gift star. Thank you, Simply. Thank you so much. And we're gonna go get a lot of updates now. All right. So we're gonna listen to a couple of things. All right, everybody come on in. Welcome to the live. I want to start from the beginning. All right. And if you're just joining us, we're talking about Ashley Janae and Joe McCann case. All right. We haven't really heard anything that he's come back to the States. My guess is that they still got him in there for questioning, right? And you would figure if you didn't have anything to do with anything, they would question you and they would let you go. But we haven't seen or heard anything from him, so they must be doing a lot of questioning because there's a lot of questions that need answers to, right? If this was the United States, he would have been hemmed up by now. And another thing, dealing with a foreign country, the family is going to have a very hard time dealing with a foreign country. Very hard time. Okay.
This settlement check completely changed my life, and it came from a car accident I almost forgot about. I never imagined something this big could come from an accident.
All right. So let's skip a little bit. She goes, and this is Fumi. We love Fumi.
Celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
She was starting the next chapter of her life. She called us and FaceTimed us to share with us her travel.
Ashley's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashley called saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
He told me that Ashley did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury resort the couple was staying at called saying that Ashley passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashley had an unidentified mark around her neck. They wrote, according to her husband, he found she hung herself on the door with several question marks.
Sometime Jill went back to the room with security, and that's how they found her.
Ashley was also taken to a second hospital who listed her cause of death as cerebral hypoxia by strangulation and suffocation.
She's never done anything that would ever lead me to believe that she would do something to harm herself.
Of you are also African, white African, I'm the world. I care because this could have been my daughter. This could have been anybody's daughter. I stand for what is right and for what is wrong. And I've taken a particular investment in this case because of Shanquella Robinson, another case that drew to my heart.
Shanquella,
and because this happened on African soil. And I happen to know a part of this mentality, understanding, because I am African. And because there is nobody in Tanzania, Zanzibar, who is on Ashley's side. Not one person. Which means documents can be doctored, lies are being told, the truth is being hidden, evidence is not brought up, people are scared, people are being bribed, people are running away, and the entire tourism is under scrutiny and intense hostility. I said the last time that this is the Ashley effect. You know why? It's the top of the pyramid is going to crash all the way down. Because this is bigger than Ashley. And it is going to open up the floodgates to all that has been going on for decades.
I believe it.
I have a list here because I don't want to forget anything. Okay, so let me start from the beginning. I don't believe anything that I have heard about Ashley Janae Robinson's case in Zanzibar, Tanzania. I don't believe anything. We were told that she was hanging by the back of the door. Now we find out that she was in the wardrobe. Like I said, where was a stool, a chair, a table, anything for her to holster her place up there?
Right.
The busman
That's what I'm saying.
and he was petrified and ran away.
Now you see what she said? Where was it a place there for her to prop herself up? It just don't make sense, right?
Occurred to me a couple of things. Could it be a situation because Joe and Ashley had a fight? Villa 24 was so fed up with Villa 25. And this is the gated community where they were screaming and shouting so much that Villa 24 had to complain. Now, it occurred to me, screaming and shouting, to be combative. Physically what? Physically combative, that they had to be separated. Joe was moved to Villa 65. It only just occurred to me, what a terrible mistake. They should have left Joe in that villa and taken Ashley to an unknown villa. But we have come to find out, as I've mentioned by other episodes, that Joe is a regular in Zanzibar.
Right.
That Joe has been traveling to Zanzibar for years. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
So, my thought told me that Joe is a frequent visitor of Zanzibar. And he is well known by hotels, staff, and the people. So he has frequented Zanzibar. And my thought said they were arguing about him cheating on her. He would leave the villa to go to other women at night. And other women, would it be local women?
Thank you, Cindy. Hey.
Yes. And then they also said that I think at the reception or something like that, outside, there was also another argument. Somebody was flirting with Ashley and screaming, cheating on her. That is what my thought said. And he said that the police have arrested 10 people who are suspected of EYs. There's some people, also his friends. He had a friend there. Wait, who had a friend there? To be clear, Joe Macan had a friend in Zanzibar. And that friend has been arrested too. What's this saying?
Now let's stop right there. So see, now Joe wasn't alone. So Joe was going to Zanzibar and Tanzania for years before he met Ashley. So that means he already had established relationships there. This girl is just going on a birthday trip. You know what I'm saying? She was outnumbered, right? Well, she was outnumbered. Let's listen. This is getting good, y'all. Let's listen. Everybody keep sharing the live. Thank you, Cindy. Everybody keep tappifying, keep sharing. Let's get it out there, y'all. Thank you so much for the 87K. Let's listen.
Yes, a man.
So he had a man with him at this resort that has been detained.
Yes.
Is it a white male? Do we know any? Is this a foreign male? Do we know any specifics?
Yes, I have been told he's a white male. The police are going to release the postmortem on Friday. And also the up to
now this Friday passed, but I gotta look into if they released see they released one thing I seen, but it didn't tell you much. Let's keep listening.
The video and shows and holding on to video and that come to my attention is
her Instagram has been taken down.
She had a different Instagram page. It had pictures. I saw the person who took the pictures from that Instagram page. I saw its proof that page has been taken down.
Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you.
Okay, you guys, I'm just marinating. So it sounds like this is a little bit deeper than what we initially thought. It sounds like there's still some conflicting details. We would need everyone to operate in good faith in order for us to get the full story.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say that he chose Tanzania because the country has no good relationship with the US, first of all, because they're on the ban list. So everything that's going to come out is not going to be authentic. I do not believe in the justice system of Zanzibar. Let me say that. I'm an African. I'm in Africa. You can say whatever you want about me, but I'm going to speak the truth. Mm-hmm. And he is known. He's a frequent visitor. They know him. That changes the story. It's not like somebody who just went there for the first time. And then he also chose a place where the police can be bribed.
Wow.
Okay, elaborate on that. Tell us a little bit about the culture in foreign countries such as Zanzibar or Tanzania, Africa. How are white men viewed there?
Basically, they worship them.
Oh.
You said worship?
Yeah, kind of like they hold them in high regard. So when I talked to my boss, and my boss told me the man did it.
Oh.
Everything
loud and clear. From your source.
Yeah.
Your source said what?
The man did it.
Wow.
You have to use names.
Allegedly.
He said Joe McCann did it. And he's the one that put her there. That's what he said. And my source is a doctor in Zanzibar.
Oh, shit. Oh, my gosh. Let's go back over the initial report of the hospital. See, a hospital doesn't have a dog in this fight. The hospital doesn't know Joe. The hotel staff, the resort staff, they're familiar with it. And if you look at the initial report, they said because
the hospital staff have a dog in this fight. Like I said, we do not know if Joe has done this before. We don't know whether Ashley is not the first casualty. You're operating on American mentality, on integrity, on oath. I don't blame you at all. I don't. We are talking about Tanzania. We're talking about money will buy everything. You don't even know who's buried in the ground.
Wow.
I'm being real.
That's deep.
Wait for the punchline. Joe also invested with a friend there in the medical field. What do you mean for me? I mean that he had invested in ambulance access there. He had invested in the medical field, and that's what we know. We don't even know to what extent. So
everybody coming in, we're talking about the Ashley Janae Joe McCann case, the girl who went to Africa on a trip for her birthday and got engaged to the guy Joe, and now she's unalive, and they're saying that she committed suicide, but nobody believes it. So everybody's trying to figure out what happened to her, and he's being held now for questioning. So we're just going through some stuff. So come on in and join the show. All right. Thank you, Fawn.
What that connects him not only to the villas and to these wonderful spaces and places that they were going to, of which he's close friends with the owner, but it also connects him to the hospitals and to the medical staff. Joe is an influential person out in Zanzibar, and he has invested his own personal money in there. Upon reflection, if this hadn't turned the way that it did, we would have said, this is a wonderful thing to do. Why? Because in my country, Nigeria, where we had Anthony Joshua, the boxer, go home for Christmas with his two friends that had a terrible, disastrous accident of which they lost their lives, there were no ambulances to take them to the hospital. They were laid out on the ground, and you saw their bodies deceased as it was. They took Anthony Joshua in a car because there were no ambulances. I am trying to give you an insight of what Zanzibar is and different parts of Africa. Not all of Africa, different countries, different parts, different seasons. A Fumination sister sent me this message, and this is what she had to say. Hi, Fumi. I've been to Zanzibar a few times. You do not take no one in April for a romantic getaway, because from March to May, it is rainy season.
Okay.
Floods, the roads to Nonguo, up north to Unguaya Island are bad. And without rain or traffic, the only hospital in the island, they have small private clinics for minor issues, otherwise known from Queen Swahili as urgent care. Ashley was rushed to urgent care when this incident happened.
Oh, no.
And so they have small private clinics for minor issues. Yeah. It is at least an hour and a half drive and located in Stone Town.
Oh, no.
Regardless, even if alive, she would have been brain dead by the time she got to the hospital.
Oh,
I concur.
Gosh.
I believe Ashley passed away in that hotel room. Hanging, as we very well know, does not take long. It's a very painful way to go. But according to the busboy who went into the room and saw her hanging and struggling, I think he said 7:55 or something like that, almost 8 o'clock. Nobody came to her aid until about an hour later.
Wow.
She was dead. That's why I'm telling you, it's all lies.
Wow.
I believe that something happened to Ashley. Allegedly, so many of you keep on telling me, for me, say allegedly, by the hands of Joe. It got out of hand. There was a 3-hour time frame of which we do not know where Joe was. Until we get CCTV, until we get the cameras to know where Joe was, which was a 10-minute walk away from the villa, 25. We will not know exactly when and where Joe was. Do you know that when the bus boy came and was giving Ashley the charger, it occurred to me, who's to say that Joe wasn't in the back of the house? That while her back was turned, Joe had walked in. Who's to say that he did not make the agreement with the bus boy and said, show up, ask her for anything? Because again, there are lies that she was outside the villa. And then we have stories that he came to the door because he was going from villa to villa asking if you needed any assistance. He didn't come back till 20, 30 minutes after. Was that on the behest of Joe's orders or not? So when he opened the door and she stood up to speak to him, he came from the back. He had his 20 minutes with his friend, with his allegiance, to do what he did, and they hosted her up. And then when he came, he saw her hanging and struggling and went to ask for help and assistance. We don't know. I am trying to be her eyes over there because there's nobody there for this child. She's in the morgue and we do not have any autopsy. We don't have anything. But they're cooking up something because this has to go away, Joe. As much as we love you, as much as we allow you to do whatever you want to do out here in these streets, you're going to sink all of us like the Titanic. We will cut you off before we will sink. We have made too much investment in here. We would let you go. This is why everything has gone left, because nobody thought that this story would take off the way that it did. And I have to give my flowers to Queen Sheba, darling, because she's working overtime out here in the streets. In the last episode, I had mentioned, because she had talked about how Joe might not have anything to do with the medical field. Yes? And I interrupted and I said, Joe has everything to do with the medical field. He has everything to do with the doctors who signed off on what happened to Ashley. We don't know, because money talks. Money talks more than you would believe. More than you would believe, because you think we're in America, there would be this, there would be that. No. This was off season. Joe brought Ashley to a place that she had never been to before. They bought a package. They bought a package where you have the elephants, the giraffes. They will say happy birthday on the ground. Because I think I'm following this, I see it all over my TikTok. So I see package over package over package over package. That was what he brought. This is a girl who was asking for a charger. Then the next 5-10 minutes, she decided that, you know what, I'm going to hang myself. Why would she do that? Allegedly, she was a dancer at a high-end gentleman's club in Miami. Perhaps she met Joe there. Either way, it's sad that these young ladies are so superficial to their own deterrent, chasing the bag only to end up in a body bag. Hopefully, they will check both of their phone, email records, and surveillance cameras at the resort. I know darn well she didn't hang herself. It's just sad, and I hope justice is served. I bring it up, not what Ashley was doing, but how Ashley met Joe. It explains who Joe is, because Joe has a fetish for Black women. That's his preference. He married one and divorced one, and so he goes to clubs and he has more access to his fetish, to his preference, because of the nature of how they meet them. In many ways, they're kind of submissive. In many ways, they're grateful. In many ways, their hand is out for money. I'm going to tell you something. I believe Ashley worked at the club, but I don't believe she was a dancer. I believe also that she also had other jobs in the entertainment industry. We have Joe Budden, who had one or two things to say about her, and he described her very much as his little sister.
And none of the romantic choices, but that's your homegirl and you love her, and you vouch for that person. Ashley and homeboy was at my birthday dinner. Yeah. They were at my birthday dinner. And I invited Ashley the last 2 years to my birthday dinner. So this year I made it a point to get on the phone, like, yo, this is the year
Oh, that's Joe Button.
You gonna make it? And she was on some shit like, yeah, just gotta check on my man, and I know we gotta drop off the stepkids, and we gotta pick them up from school, and they on spring break, and this, and I'm on fire. I'm just saying, like, she left the dude. A lot of people have an agenda on the internet, and I know what it looks like with this white guy and this young black girl. She loved this dude, and by all accounts, he appeared.
He did not love her. On his Instagram page, he has nothing. He does not even have anything about her. That is not a man, period.
And look, we might have to start over on the Clizzot. All right, not on the Y to the Tuesday, but on the Clizzot, because we got a restriction. I don't know why. So we might. What's up? Oh, how you doing there? I didn't even see you. What's going on? We doing a show over here. 17-year age difference. Yes. Yeah. So we got a restriction. So we're gonna restart. All right. So everybody come right back on the clock. Everybody come right back. All right, come right back. Come right back, y'all. How you doing there? Hello? What's this thing on? A free for all? All right. We gotta start the clock back over again because we gotta, I don't know why. But here we go. All right, everybody. So we're gonna continue where we left off. Everybody's still rocking with us. Come on in. Welcome to the Miss Knockout Show. All right, we still rocking. We still got a little more to do. So we're gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why did we get a restriction? Why? All right, let me put that on back line. Sorry for my people on the Y. He had to start it over again. Sorry for my people on the Y. I'm back on line. On the Y. All right. Everybody come on in. Come on back in. I don't know. What did she say to give us a restriction? What? All right. Everybody come on in. Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Miss Knockout Show. Welcome back. Come on in. We'll start where we left off. We will start where we left off. Everybody come on in. Everybody come on in. All right, so let's see. Let's see. All right, everybody come on in so we could continue talking about what we're talking about.
Not coming on Saturday. I'm strapped for cap.
What's up, Stargazer? Hey. All right, everybody, we're back online. So everybody, we're going to wait for everybody to come in, and then we're going to continue. I just didn't want to continue with all the restrictions, right? Thank you. Hey, Oni. Everybody come on. So we're going to wait for everybody to come back, and then we're going to keep it moving on in. All right. I want the room to continue to grow. I'd rather start it over. What's up, Tanya? Let's everybody continue to share it out. All right. Let me let everybody know that I'm back on. And we're going to keep going. So we're just listening to some updates now on some locals that's talking, friends that's talking, and people are talking. You know what I'm saying? So we're getting like some updates and some twists and turns here and there. Okay, we're getting some twists and turns. Everybody come back in. Let's build the room back up. We had almost 100 people in here at one time. Almost 100 people. All right? And they gave us some doggone, I don't even know what that was for, y'all. But anyway, life goes on. All right, I'm sharing it with some people. And we're going to get back to the get back. So everybody come back in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. All right. So everybody come back in. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to it. Everybody come back in. Come back in. We're going to get back to it. We're going to get into some more Ashley Janae updates. We're learning a lot. All right. What's up, Bevy? I had to restart. Everybody come on in. We had to restart. But we're gonna get right back into it. Everybody tapify. Everybody drop some comments. Okay. And everybody shareify. And let's get the likes back up. All right. Thank you for that. Everybody get your orange heart. Hey, Tanya. Everybody come on back in. And we will continue with the show. All right. So let's see. Let's get this started. Let's get this started. There's no selling fees and people come in and they'll catch up. Everybody continue to share the live with 10 to 15 people. Put in your repost, put it in your story. Let's get the word back out. All right. So let's see. So let's listen. Let's listen. Oh. All right.
Tania with her fiance.
We just want the truth. We just want to know what happened.
The parents of Ashley Robinson, known on social media as Ashley Janae, speaking with ABC Philadelphia station WPVI after learning their daughter died at a luxury resort in Zanzibar. It happened just days after celebrating her 31st birthday and getting engaged to her boyfriend, 45-year-old Joseph McCann.
She was happy. This is what she wanted.
That's her mother talking. Wow. You can hear it in her voice, yo.
The next chapter of her life.
Okay, it looked like it went out. The sound went out on there.
All right. Let's do a mic check. Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I see it. You guys are saying, listen, there's no sound. We're gonna try to reboot in real time. Oh, you could see it. You could hear it. Y'all gotta y'all threw me off. But listen, we are talking all things Ashley Janae. And baby, when I tell you I have a powerful update, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there. I believe Ashley did die here in her room. That's it. That's all. I believe Ashley passed away in her room. I'm going to walk you through the why of that. But the bigger question is, why are they lying to us? Write that down. Why are they lying to us?
That's a good question.
Okay, hold on. We got somebody here. T. Morgan. T. Morgan says, man, that white man killed my friend. Welcome, T. Morgan. Before I get started, can I ask you, are you close with Ashley? I'm going to assume, oh my God, T.
Everybody come on
T
in.
said they're lying.
We have to reboot. Everybody come on in.
I'm going to walk it down. T, I am with you. Welcome, T. I'm going to assume that you are a good friend of Ashley's because you're using personalized language. Why are they lying to us, y'all? Yes, T. Morgan is Ashley's friend. It's on record and has known her since elementary school. We got your back on this, T. We got your back. Now, listen. We covered the Shanquilla Robinson case very, very closely over here. Very closely. And I'm going to do my best to give Ashley her due diligence. I'm not letting it go because it never makes sense to me, y'all. It doesn't make sense. And it hit me last night. Near midnight.
Everybody Tapify, everybody Sharefy. I'm going right back in it because we're gonna be here for a minute. All right, going through this case. We had to restart. I don't know, I guess some kind of restriction, so we figure we start off fresh. So everybody share the page out. I don't know anybody from elementary school, you know? So everybody share the page out, Tapify, Sharefy, Blessify, Miss Knockout, get your orange heart. All right, we're talking about Ashley, Janae, and Joe McCann case. All right, let's listen.
I knew they were lying. Listen, some of you are, listen, don't let anybody play in your face regarding your intelligence. What the old folks used to say, if it doesn't make sense, it's because somebody's lying. It didn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to me. It never has.
Not from the beginning, it makes sense.
What I was able to uncover is jarring. Is very jarring.
Wow.
Okay. First of all, here's a couple of things that we're gonna talk down, run down. We're gonna talk about her dad going to DC. We're also gonna go back to that hospital report. We're gonna go back to that hospital report, and we're gonna go back to that butler. Shanley, say thank you, Queen, for covering this, for continuing to cover this young lady. Absolutely, it's my due diligence. I think when you have a platform like this, and yeah, we like to get into gossip and the entertainment of it all, but if you're ever given an opportunity to make a difference in somebody's life, now's the time to do so. And that's why we're covering it. T. Morgan, who's Ashley's childhood friend, says thank you. If y'all don't believe me, any Instagram, if y'all don't believe me, my Instagram is the same as my tag here. It's up. I feel her parents are scared as well. Yeah, let me highlight this comment. I'm gonna come back to it. I think so. We're going to talk about the parents not going to Zanzibar. We're going to talk about the journalist. According to a source, the journalists have been instructed not to cover this story.
What?
According to one of my sources over there, you know, the Somali Queen did a really good job of telling us that they lied and that it's a huge cover-up. But now, y'all, the journalists over there are scared. They've been instructed not to cover the story.
Oh,
and they're going to comply. There are huge sanctions that they've been threatened with if they cover this story. So if you go back and backtrack, they have not covered the story since day 3 over there in Zanzibar or Tanzania. And as a matter of fact, they're saying Tanzania is saying it didn't happen to us. It happened to you. We not in it. T is saying Joe McCann sacrificed my friend. He sacrificed my friend. Listen, I knew that beautiful girl did not go there to kill herself. Joe is a frequent visitor to Zanzibar, is being alleged. Joe has connections over there at that resort. Here's a couple of things we're going to run down. And then I'm going to allow T to come up if she would like to come up and just kind of give us a little bit of her history with Ashley and describe the young lady that she knows Ashley to be. I'm gonna power through mine really quick. I want to talk about the dad going to the DC.
Let me ask you something. Has anybody heard this on like the Channel 5 News, Channel 7? Has anybody watched this on like the major news channel? Yes or no? Just curious. I'm sorry, yo. We had to restart because I got some kind of restriction. I don't know why. I got some kind of restriction for something. I don't know. Maybe something the lady said. I haven't. That's something peculiar. I haven't seen this being covered on Channel 5, NBC. You know, it's just us. This is us. We gotta keep this train moving though. Okay. They show a little of it. Okay. They show you seen a little of it. Oh, so it might not even be real. Well, it is real, Pam. It is real. You tell that to those parents sitting on this sofa, distraught. Okay, I did see what they told. You did see it? Okay. See, because I don't watch the news, so I'm asking. All right, everybody come back in. We're listening. Continue to share the live. Continue to tap the screen. Let's get back up, y'all. Let's get back up to 100K. We almost a quarter of the way there. All right. So let's get back in. All right. So let's continue listening, y'all.
I want to talk about the father going to DC. I want to talk about the room being in Ashley's name. I want to talk about the initial hospital report.
So did y'all hear what she said? The room was in Ashley's name. See?
And then I'm going to tell you why I know Ashley was dead. Thank you. In that room before they even got her to the hospital. You're absolutely welcome, T. She said, thanks, Sheba, for covering this and not just speaking. Her preference has nothing to do with her life. Let's be very clear. I wouldn't give a damn if she dated elephants. She has a right to be what she wants to be. She has a right to live her life and go out and date and have fun. And she should be able to do that without anybody playing God in her life and deciding when she lives and when she dies. And Black folks, y'all gonna have to do better. Y'all gonna have to do better. We are some of the tackiest people when it comes to our own. And ladies, we're gonna have to do better too, because we do the same thing. When Black men are unalived by their partners who are not Black, we're just gonna have to, if we can't say anything nice, we're just gonna have to zip it up and be quick. The way she deserved to be here because of her preference, y'all, that's nasty work. And be careful what you send out, because you never know how it shall be returned unto you. So we're not talking about our preference, because that doesn't at all. We're trying to word out. We're trying to apply pressure.
We're trying.
And we got to do so in decency. You got to keep the main thing the main thing.
Thank you, Shima.
Hell, if we don't show up for each other, who's going to show up for us? So let me just say this real quick. Shout out to Ty. There's a lady that came up here a couple of days on this platform, and she says, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. She never said where she was from, but I know she's from a foreign country, and maybe she's from Zanzibar or Tanzania, and she didn't offer that, that piece of whatever information just to protect her safety. But she said, Queen, y'all need to be asking Ashley was alive, because I don't believe that Ashley was alive when security knocked on the door. And I believe what 24 heard was screams, and Ashley probably fighting for her life. She said, I believe when the hotel got to that villa number 25, Ashley was gone. The rest is lies. Oh, I bumped into her in the dark. Why the hell would Ashley Janae? Listen, shit, I don't even go outside on my own street after dark, and not because it's not safe. Let's be very clear. I don't see a young lady who had to be separated from her fiance because they were, remember, the hotel was worried about her well-being. So why would she go out? And if you understand how the resort looks, why would Ashley go out just to rummage through the tropics by herself? We're talking snakes, mosquitoes,
right?
For her in the middle of the night. Because it was, I need a charger. So no, Ashley had way more sense than that. Black girls are sad. We ain't outside at nighttime in no damn foreign country looking for no damn charger.
Right.
Follow me very closely. Listen to me. We got common sense over here. Security allegedly separated them, and they moved Joe to Villa 65. They allowed Ashley to occupy the primary room. Let's just go with the theory of the hotel guy. She was still alive. We asked Joe to leave. We left Ashley, and actually they didn't say they never said she was alive, actually. They said we separated them. The butler is the one who gave an indication of life, but the hotel statement never said she was alive.
Charlene,
oh my God, go back and look.
Back.
They said we separated
welcome
them.
Back, everybody.
The butler is the one that threw the monkey wrench and into Ashley in the middle. No, you lying. Baby, we got backups. We got backup charges. Ashley does deal. You tell me Ashley had one cord in that room. I know you lie. Not the way we operate and these young folks right there, you damn lie. Now I know you lie. That girl had some backup.
Thank you,
Charger.
Andrea.
It ain't even about the charger. The point is, if you move Joe to Villa 65, and if you left Ashley in Villa 25, watch this. Why would Ashley not have her belongings? Because you allowed her to stay in the primary room. Now, had he said we moved Ashley to Villa 65, then I would believe the story about the charger, because you know what? In a frenzy, she may have forgotten. Oh shit, I forgot to throw my charger in my bag. Excuse me, sir, do you have a charger? Sure, I got one.
Donna just discovered that on Vinted, she can easily earn
There's
extra.
a lot of stuff in this that
All she has to do is list
adding
and
up.
sell what she doesn't wear anymore.
We could go through the list.
And with
Everybody
zero
come on
selling
in
fees,
there.
she keeps every
Everybody
dollar
keep
she earns.
Tapifying, keep sharifying. We had to
Don't wear it,
restart the
sell
live.
it.
We got a little, I don't know why.
$5 favors, then you
Restrictio.
can get this or this.
We're talking about Ashley
this,
Janae's. Everybody
or
going in.
this. No one's stopping you from getting them all.
So she's gonna have
Now,
somebody
there's an
come
idea.
up that is around and knows
I
them.
saw that my PR got approved,
right.
but there's a test failure.
If you're on the
and, I have
YT
I'm
Tuesday,
so
make sure
lazy.
you
Like the moment I'm like, oh, I
subscribe
gotta
and
go
give
and
it a
like build
thumbs
site
up.
and like look at the test logs. Yeah, it's like
Thank you so much,
just click
Aileen,
the
for the
skills
hard
tab,
part.
and I just feel like build kite.
All right, so let's continue.
I don't believe that story. She's in the primary room. If anybody forgot their charger, it would be Joe, not Ashley. That's the first thing.
She's
I
getting
don't believe
into
the
it
story
deep.
about the cord. I don't believe a black
She's
girl's
deep
walking
into
around
it,
in the
y'all.
middle of the jungle looking for a charger. I don't. And you just happen to save the day. It's
Me,
too
I bring
convenient.
like 3 charges.
So it goes back to the question that Tide had was, can we prove that Ashley was still alive? Can we corroborate your story? Where's the proof? How come the police are refusing to release the
I don't
video?
think they're gonna corroborate nothing with them, and here's why. I feel like she said, you know what I'm saying, is people can pay off people easily in those countries. You know what I'm saying? They covering they behind and they assification. Who knows what the guy Joe is doing, allegedly. I don't know. The family's gonna have a very hard time sorting this out. It's not gonna be a walk in the park. It's not gonna be sweet. I'm telling you. Let's listen. She's going. I'm waiting for her to bring the lady up.
See Ashley walking around looking for a charger. I need to see you doing your butler service. Go into room 25.
Well, they gotta produce
24,
produce the
26.
cameras. They gotta produce the
Now,
cameras.
let me tell you how the rooms are numbered. They are numbered in clusters. I did my research. In the cluster that Ashley was in, she was in cluster 21 through 26.
Okay, Hancock.
This is the cluster 21 through 26. Remember that. This is a map of the cluster. If you look all the way down to the bottom portion, this is Ashley's cluster right here. 21 through 26. Watch this. We're going to go a little bit deeper. Let me give you a better
We're
view.
not showing it on the Y because, you know.
Right there at the bottom is 21 through 26. Right here.
Thank you.
This is Ashley. This is the cluster. The blue arrow shows that she was right by the beach. You see the beach? Now, this is Joe, 61 through 68. Let me play it again. 21 through 26, we're talking 5 villas. Joe is across the way, 8 to 10 minutes away, 61 through 68. Ashley's initial room is close to the water. Y'all see that blue arrow? It leads to the beach. So Ashley had a prime spot. They moved Joe over here. Are you following?
Mangio.
And only
hey. What's
Villa
up,
24
Mangio Nation is in the
reported. I believe Ashley
We're
may
talking
have
about
not been
Ashley
alive by the
Janae
time they got
Joe
to that room.
McKay case.
The rest is just fluff. Let's continue. So the butler says, I bumped into her. If you notice, he couldn't give a time. Now we got to get creative. Okay, you can't give a time. Now we got to do our work.
So he
the
didn't
time
give
of death
a definitive
was
time.
8:55 p.m. according to the police commander. Here we go. Here we go. Follow me very closely. 8:55 p.m. according to the police commander. The butler never said. He said give or take. He did not come back in 10 minutes. I don't believe that anymore. I went on vacation and I stayed at a resort where you have a dedicated butler.
Mm-hmm.
Men are not that specific. Oh, it was 10 minutes. Half of them can't even remember their wives' anniversaries and birthdays. Now, all of a sudden, it was 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Now, somebody coached you to say that. But let's take a look really quickly at what time the butlers operate.
Okay.
So if you look at here at Villa Services, here's some of the services that are included with your stay. We have welcome gifts, personal.
Everybody that's coming on in, we're talking about the Ashley Janae case and Joe McCain. All right, so everybody come on in. She's going through time frames
and checkout. Personalized villa preparation. Afternoon tea, pillow menu, exclusive bathroom amenities, buggy service, arrangements, semi-private beach, and Dow bar. Wine cellars and wide mini bar selections. If we go to the right of the screen and we look here, give me a second. Services, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay.
Y'all see it? Let me undo it. I probably messed it up by my drawing. I'm not that good with drawing. 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. So we're going to assume that this butler, there is a butler, worked the night shift and he got off at 11 p.m. So I'm going to assume he came in probably about after 11 a.m. His job is to assist daily, to greet the couple when they arrive to the resort. He has, listen to this, a designated, you got to listen to this. This is how we're going to break apart this case. A designated mobile line.
Okay.
Mobile
number.
Sir, you have a whole dedicated mobile line. Why did you run, if your story is true, and you came into the room unannounced,
thank you, Deshaun,
without permission? Because all of a sudden you remembered that Ashley asked you to come back. You came in, the room was pitch dark. You heard a thud. You pop on the lights. This is his story. You see Ashley dangling alive. He made it a point to say she was alive, kicking. And you ran and left her there for God knows how long. Hold on. And we may have to bring up Somali Queen to establish the timeline again. And you ran. Now, initially, my initial thought, and you have to go with your initial thought. I'm sorry, but my initial thought, period, as a human being, I don't give a damn what country you're from, is why the hell did you leave her up there? That was my initial thought. Some people explained it. They said, oh, in foreign countries, he's a foreigner. He could have been scared. We're talking fight or flight, y'all. You walking into a situation you've never seen before. You ain't got time to be thinking, am I going to be blamed for this? We're talking natural responses that the body will give. Your natural response as a man.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing, that we don't know what other people's natural responses is going to be, though. Everybody got a different natural response. You open the door, you see a body drop. Everybody's response is going to be different. So we can't really say what somebody would do in that situation because everybody's different. Am I right or wrong? Right?
Whether you're dating Ashley or not, if a woman
She
is
can have a
strangling
theory, though.
or kicking for her life, hanging on to the back of the door, most women would just respond. Oh my God, let me help you get down. Da, 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 da. But no, he said he ran to get help.
Now that does make a lot of sense. Like if you open a door and you see somebody dead down from a door that they was hanging fire from, right? Would your first instincts be to help them? Like, oh, let me go get the belt from around her neck. Or would it be to run off to who knows where? Like I said, everybody's different. Now, some people might not want to touch the body. That might be in it, and that's how my mind would go. Like I would go over there and say, hey, we need some assistance in the room, and I would keep watch. I wouldn't leave, I would keep watch. But in my mind, I would say, oh no, don't touch the body, because they mess around, do fingerprints, now you included because you touched her. They like, now what did you do? Hey, but she was kicking, I will help her and call yeah, you call for help. But I wouldn't like go away and leave her. So now this the help, so he ran off. Okay? African ain't scared of nobody. Pam said Africa ain't scared of no dead bodies. You something else. Pam. All right, let's listen.
He didn't use the
She said
phone in the
Africa ain't
villa,
scared of
and now we know he has a mobile line where he could have called to get help, but he didn't do that. Again, I take your attention back to the designated
it would,
line.
Carrie, it would.
Butlers are available from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Ashley's time of death, according to the police commander, was 8:55 p.m. You guys, Ashley died in the room. How do you know that? I would put my bottom dollar on it. And if Ashley died in the room, that means somebody's lying. And when I say somebody, I'm going to say the hotel in conjunction with the police commander. I don't think Ashley is going to get the due justice that's due to her. I wish the parents would have went down there, but maybe they got a heads up. Hey, don't go down there.
Well, they got to raise the money.
Don't go down there.
Okay, so you just can't run down to Africa, okay? You can't just jump up and run to Africa. You got to have the money to go to Africa. Hey, Boom, thank you so much, Boom, for the roses. You got to have the money. When you go to Africa, you got to go get shots, right? You got to pack your belongings. You got to get your affairs in order. You got to take off your job. You can't just jump up and run to Africa now, right? And then they got to have all the money to pay people off when they get there to get the answers that they need. So they can't just run off like that. The dude ain't helping them. What's up, Ron? Yeah, they got to go fund me. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, Herbert. They got to go fund me, because when somebody is unalive or they pass away, you can't get to their finances like that. That's what people don't understand. They're like, well, she had all this money and she was jet setting. How come they couldn't take that Gucci bag? And because they can't get to us stuff like that. There's a process to it, because there's an unalivement involved. You can't just get into somebody's account and get access to stuff like that. Is police involved? I mean, they might be crooked, allegedly, but they still the popo.
Thanks for the next. Okay? So let's
listen, yo.
I don't know. Ashley died in that room, and they're lying to us. And let me show you the room again. They moved Joe because Ashley was gone. The screams, remember the people, 24, Villa 24, said they've been fighting since the day they arrived.
Thanks for the
They
follow.
arrived at Zurich April 4th. Prior to being at Zurich, he had her at a different safari, a different resort. Watch this. If you've arrived on the 4th and things were kind of on the 8th, what's the difference between the fight on the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th compared to the 8th? 24, Villa 24 said, hell no. On the 8th, we just couldn't take it anymore. What is it about that fight that is so different? You know why? When you hear a woman screaming, fighting for her life, something's different about this fight, honey. If it were a man and a woman in room 24, call the cops, call the police, call everybody. That girl needs help. Thuds. Think about fist fights. And if the Villa, here it is. Now, we're not talking apartment buildings where you're wall to wall. Let me show it again. If Villa 24 could hear what was going on in Villa 25, it was pretty damn loud. That was a fight for her life.
So they were close.
This is the circle. 21. You see how they had to have her.
So she's saying that
was so disturbing.
They was
and if you go back
door, but they wasn't like close
to the conflicting reports.
Right?
See, the police
been
chief
tired of hearing it though. Maybe they was tired of hearing it.
He got
of
paid,
course.
in my opinion. Sir, you got paid.
Of course,
and you
creator.
did the best you could with the cover-up. But there's still hints of what happened to Ashley. Because what the police commander said is, Zuri called the police after they got to that room because they were concerned for Ashley. Let me refresh your memory. Give me 1 second. I'm going by the words of the police commander. Hold on. We're going to go by the police commander first, and then we're going to listen to the parents, and then I'm going to open up the lines for Ashley's friend only. All right, here we go. We're going to break it down one more time. And then we may need Kamali Queen, if she's available, because I know there's a time difference. If she's available to come back, because she translated from Swahili to English the timeline that she was able to get from the locals. Here we go. Police in the North Unguja region, Zanzibar, have reported that social media personality Ashley Robinson, known as Ashley Janae, a U.S. citizen, died in the hospital after being rushed there. Initially, you don't pay that much attention to that, right? Now I'm looking at that statement a little bit different. Because that's a way to establish she wasn't here. She was there in the hospital. Watch this. She was found in her hotel room by a hotel staff member in a hanging position.
Okay.
In an interview, the police commander, Benedict Mapujila, said Ashley was found hanging in her room on April 8th. He never said the time initially. We had to push them. It wasn't until they got back.
So the wardrobe was so tall because this girl didn't look like she was that short. She looked like she was a nice sized girl. Like she was, So the wardrobe that everybody's saying that when they look at the room, they're saying that wardrobe don't look like it can have somebody hangified from it. I don't know. Let's listen.
Backlash from those of you that are tuned in and people like myself and the friends and the family. Then they come up with the timeline. She was rescued while in critical condition and taken to the hospital where she passed away on April 9th, 2026 while receiving treatment. That's a lie. She was not rescued. I believe she was DOA when she got to the urgent care. Because remember, they didn't take her to the hospital initially. They took her to urgent care. The butler.
Now, imagine having an injury that's so serious and people still take you to the urgent care. Urgent care is where you go to, you got a sore throat or a scrape. It's not somewhere where you go to take a potential suicide patient to, right? Did she receive treatment? Allegedly, they say treatment that she received, but how would we know what kind of treatment they were given for? Or we know she could have just been sitting there in the hospital. We don't know, because once again, we're dealing with a foreign country. Let's listen.
He didn't rescue her. The butler said he didn't use his mobile phone. He said he ran. She was not rescued. And according to my translator, they left her there for well over an hour. They got Joe.
Everyone is a suspect. I agree with you.
Also, the butler stated, according to the police commander, and we broke down the interview, the press conference, which was conducted in Swahili. The police commander said that the butler reported he initially attempted to enter Ashley's villa number 25, after he all of a sudden remembered that she told him to come back. Y'all, he did not say that he went back in 10 minutes. You all are saying that he went back in 10 minutes. We broke down the conference room. He said after some time, he went back because the butler said that he got busy and he forgot about Ashley after giving her the charger. Then he went back and he noticed that the entire villa was dark. And that stood out to him. Watch this. And he decided to use his key, his security key, and enter the room. I call bullshit. The first thing,
they're telling those people what to say
I've had a butler
and what not to say.
Oh, they're asleep, or she's asleep.
They're telling them what to say and what not to say.
She's asleep. What man gave him you out of the room without permission? He entered the room, and initially he could not open the door. Y'all, we translated the press conference. And what the police commander said is the butler said he could not enter the room. Something or someone was prohibiting him from opening the door. And he struggled with whatever it was. And finally, he was able to get into the room.
So now this sounds like it's two different versions. First version is like you ran off, and second version, you're struggling to get in the room. You see how people, this is why there's a lot of times behind the scenes, they stop them from talking. Because this is how people get tripped up when they start talking. So you tell one person one thing, and then down the line, you tell somebody something else a different way. So the first version is, oh, you opened the door and you ran away. And the second version is, oh, you was trying to get in the room and seemed like somebody was pushing the door back. Which one is it? Which one is it?
And he heard a thud. Now, my first thing, think like a human being. Don't think where they're trying to take you. Don't follow the narrative that they're putting in your head. If you work at a hotel and you initially attempt to open a door and you feel something, you're going to say, oh, my bad. Somebody's in there. That's not what he did. He said he struggled to get in there. Sir, that don't even make any sense.
Right.
Maybe
Struggling
it's that
against
she's
what?
not dressed and she's like, oh, even if she's not saying anything, somebody doesn't want you to come in. Since when
Ain't
do
that
we force our way into rooms? Not only that, you said you were concerned. But when you got in there, you left her and you ran. Okay, I don't believe you. Now, let's go to the second part of this report. The commander stated Ashley's body is still at the hospital and investigations are ongoing to determine the cause of her death. Initial reports indicate that a hotel worker discovered her while cleaning. This was the initial report. They thought they were going to make this go away. They thought they were going to sweep this under the rug and we were just going to tune off and forget all about Ashley. Initially, you see how they tried to say? Her room was being serviced. It was being cleaned. And while we were cleaning the room, that means you were cleaning during the day. An alarm was raised and she was taken to the hospital. Now they got to go back and clean that up and say, wait a minute. Cleaning would indicate shit. We got to clean this up. Those people from the U.S. are pushing back. Joe has created a problem for us. They didn't do the press conference until the 14th, y'all. Ashley died on the 8th.
Because they had to get their story
I know they
together.
said the 9th or the 10th. Forget all that.
Why you think it took so long? Because they had to get their story together. This one paying off that one, this one, oh, say this, don't say that. Oh, everybody be quiet. That's a long time to give a press release. That means that they was getting their story together. And still is.
Died.
They still getting their
The
story
night
together.
that those people in Villa 24 called to report. Now, they
but-
can work up and doctor up their paperwork. It's called backlogging. Backlogging. If you're not familiar, ask anybody in healthcare that doesn't operate on the up and up. You can go back and backlog and say anything you want. They backlog. How do we make this make sense? We can't say the 8th because we have to eliminate or remove any liability from the villa. Why? Because a rich white man, a check, owns it. We can't mess with his money. We can't go pissing off the checks. This is a huge attraction for tourism, right? We cannot put the 8th, even though she was dead in that room. What can we say?
What's up, RN Diva?
We got to go with the 9th or the 10th. We got to say we got her to the hospital. All right. They went back and backlogged.
They were changing some dates and times.
They continue on to say it's about 2 days now. She was found hanging by a hotel staff who raised the alarm. She was rushed to the hospital. The body is still in Zanzibar. And if not yesterday, when today, it would have gone under examination. This is the police commander initially. Listen to what he says initially. So listen, the body, the autopsy was completed. Let me give you the date, on Tuesday. They were done on Tuesday with the autopsy. Here's the thing. They're refusing to release the body. Why? To clean up your mess. The body.
Clean up a lot of mess.
No, not the 14th. What's today's date? Yeah, the 14th. No. Today's the 19th, correct? If I'm correct, I think they were done with the autopsy between the 14th and the 15th.
What's up,
but they're refusing to release the body to her parents. Now, let me ask you.
Thank you, Deshaun, for the
What
likes.
honor is it?
Everybody come on in. We're talking about Ashley
And
Janae.
refusing to hold a body. It's not. It's considered negligence. I'm not going to say negligence. It's rude. If what you say is true and how everything occurred is true, based on what the commander is saying, the hotel is saying, and the hospital, release the body.
Right. Why won't they release the body?
Tag fit.
I'll tell you what I said behind the scenes. I think they got a problem. I think the body, I know some of y'all are saying organs. I don't think that. You can't send that body back and not intact. because you're going to have a problem from the good old U.S. of A.
Oh, yeah,
I think there's an injury. There could be a possible injury on Ashley's body that indicate she did not harm herself. And they are probably trying to figure out what to
cover
do.
it up.
Or give Joe a head start to get the hell up out of there.
And go where?
Why would they do that?
Where's Joe going?
Enough money to help him cover up. Y'all, this is way bigger than Joe. This is way bigger than the hospital.
Welcome and
this
check,
is way
follow,
bigger
tap, share,
than
repost,
the police.
Well, technically, Joe was already traveling, so Joe could technically go anywhere. If they release him, he could technically go anywhere, right? Now, I got to look up if he was released technically or not. I don't think he is. I think he's still being held somewhere, right? Because I don't think that's something that would be kept under wraps long. I think we would hear about it at some point. What's up, Chantel? What's up, Comin? So I think he's still being detained for the long questioning. They must have a lot of questions because that's a long time he's been detained, right? But when he do get out, and he does get out, see, if he was in the U.S., he would be a flight risk here. Because if they let him out and he's able to get his passport and get out of here, there's a lot of places he could go that don't cooperate with the U.S. or Tanzania is even worse. He's still in jail? Okay. If he's still in jail that long, that means they got something on him. I'm telling you. Because when they don't got that much on you or they don't got nothing on you, they question you and they let you go. They got something on him. That's why he's being held. This is a long time he's been being held. How many questions do you got to ask? But if they ever let him, if they let him out here, right, they either try him there and keep him there, or they need to extradite him to the U.S. and let the U.S. deal with him. Since she is from the U.S., the problem is it happened over there, and that's not the U.S.'s jurisdiction. Thank you for the orange heart. Thank you, Schwartz. Okay, they release you if they have if they have no probable cause, they're going to release you. They holding that man because they're asking him questions, and the questions ain't questioning. Now, if they do release him, he could go anywhere in the world. He got a little bit of change. He could be over there with Russell Simmons with the Crickets, but they even caught up to Russell Simmons over there with the Crickets. They served him because of the woman that's suifying him. They found Russell Simmons last year. People was like, oh, he's over there. They can't get to him. They got to him. They served him now. Whether he's going to answer the servation, I don't know. But there's other countries. All Joe got to do is do his research. He's a smart man. He owns companies that did successful things, right? They did keep their passport. But what I'm saying is, if for some reason they let him go until they call him back to court or whatever, I feel like he's a flight risk. I feel like they shouldn't let him go. While they're figuring stuff out, they shouldn't let him go, because if they do let him go, there's a lot of places, and you can research it, that you can go to that they can't get you. You just got to live your life out there in Timbuktu, Bubblefuck, or wherever you got to go. Now, Russell Simmons went to Bali. He went to Bali for the reason, because Bali doesn't easily cooperate with the USA. All you got to do is, man, you can go with ChatGPT right now, and if I go in chat, it'll tell me all the countries that don't cooperate with the US if you did something. Right? So there's plenty of places. So I feel like they shouldn't let him out until they get to the bottom of this case. Because I'm telling you, they'll never see him again. Let's listen.
Commander, now you're going to deal with the checks. The owner, who owns multiple properties, money upon money upon money upon money, people that have enough money to make a problem go away, including you, your butler, your police commander, and everybody.
Well, you can't go nowhere without the passport.
When I am a foreign white man and I can come to a country and strangle and or allegedly suffocate a black chick and pay the hotel staff and slide a little bit of something over to the police commander, imagine the resort owner and how much power
If
he
Joe
has.
knows something,
He
that
probably
keeping
doesn't
him
have a
safe
dog in
from
the fight.
others
I don't
getting
know
to
with
him.
Ashley. Maybe he does, but the
Yeah,
problem is way bigger than.
I would say that would be true, Kerry, if he was more so in the States, because Ashley's people ain't over there. Ashley's people ain't over there, right? Now, who's going to get him? Unless it's somebody that he got beef with, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think that they're keeping him because they ask him those questions and the questions ain't adding up. And they know if they let him go, that he's going to be a flight risk and he's going to go somewhere where they can't get him. But the foreign authorities are, and they can get to him. They will to silence him. Yeah, you never know. You never know what this cat was into. Now, he looked like he was living another life that's very mysterious. I don't know, but things come out. Let's continue to listen.
Nah. The problem
Can he
is
get out all that money?
the financial impact.
Buy a new passport.
Joe, when he got there, April 4th, is being alleged he had already lost over how many millions of dollars? At least over $40 million. So
It's
now
got
we got
100
two
million.
white men that are in a dire state of need. I need this to go away. We're not only talking about Joe, we're talking about the owner of the resort. You must be two kinds of crazy if you don't think that owner of the resort don't want this to go away. And lots of money has been exchanged.
Hey,
because
TikTok,
now
thank you
you're
for the
hurting
orange heart.
me. And we have to assume that if there's an
Thank you
owner
for the
of a resort,
69K,
that has to
y'all.
be
64K.
business partners. You can't, I don't think
Two
there's
kinds
just
of
one
crazy.
owner. I think he may be the primary. So now you got investors. Now you have investors. You see what happened to the CEO of United Healthcare, right? That caused United, those investors, to lose over $20 billion and lied to them and told them that they were not under investigation by the Department of Justice. Did he not come up, assassinated in the middle of the morning? And guess what? They stole over 120 million from, it was three of them.
It seems like every story, right? With every story, there's a bigger picture to it. So that healthcare CEO, as she just stated, he was into some stuff too before he was on the line. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, Young. Thank you so much, Young, for the follow. Welcome to the Miss Knockout community. That CEO of United Healthcare was into some stuff too before he passed away. There's always we see the thing of the immediate thing that's going on, but sometimes we don't see the strings and the bigger picture that's going on behind the scenes. Let's listen.
Thanks for the follow.
Thank you so much, Young.
He took the least amount of money and was gunned down in New York City. So if you don't think that these foreign investors and these men don't care about their money, you got another thing coming. If they'll do it to a CEO, you know damn well they'll do it to a black chick from America. You know damn well they'll off a police commander. This is way bigger than Ashley now. Now you've brought negative attention to me. And if what is being said is true about the resort, where people
he was into the dark web.
Knowingly or unknowingly, girls are taken there to engage in sexual activities. Yeah, they don't want that kind of attention. They don't want that kind of, those men that come from all over the world, they don't want that kind of attention. And let me tell you, things like that do happen. We know it happened with Diddy. Hell, Diddy would take private jets out to go to particular places where you can go and indulge. It's way bigger than Joe now. It's way bigger than Ashley now. You got privacy. You got people, names you need to protect. The world is way bigger than the U.S. There's other men, high-profile men, that probably visit this resort. They need this to go away.
Right? It is big. It's a bigger picture.
Here we go.
Especially when you got money involved.
Now, listen to this. The commander also said that Ashley's fiance, Joe McCann, who was traveling with her, has not been arrested. And he adamantly said on more than one occasion, watch this, that Joe was not in the room at the time she was found.
It's not going away no time soon, Queen.
Then why did you take him into custody?
Right. Another contradiction. So they said Joe was not arrested.
There is
so
no
where is
reason
Joe?
to take a man into.
Where is Joe at? Because the last time I checked, when somebody's just being questioned and detained, they question them and they let them go. Why they ain't let Joe go? Because when people question you, they find out things. And when they find out things, right, there's other things involved. Oh, we need to keep you here for a minute, son. Because like I said, at a certain point, you questioning somebody and the question is getting too thick, and you all decide to let that person go, you might never see them again. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they might be corrupt, but it's a good chance that Joe might be in a little pickle. You don't know which way they're going to go with it.
Custody, if you can adamantly say over and over and over and over and over again, he wasn't in the room. That means you know that for a fact. When you go on record, that means you know that for a fact.
Well, we don't know anything.
It doesn't make sense, Mr. Police Commander, to take him into custody if he wasn't in the room. And the fact that you went back a few days later and took him into custody
too much money involved,
and
right?
arrested, or allegedly you're questioning 10 other individuals.
You said a little
this initial report is bogus. It's a cover-up. According to social media reports, Ashley had recently gotten engaged to Joe McCann during one of their tourist trips in Tanzania. Here we go. Let's look. Watch this. Let's go here. As previously reported, Robinson traveled to Zanzibar with her fiance. Family members confirmed the couple was on vacation when the tragic situation unfolded. Police said that the two were experiencing relationship issues during the trip. So now we know. We've established. There's an issue. There's been an issue since April 4th. They didn't say issue, singular. They said issues, plural, during the trip. So the initial, we know that the couple or whoever was in Villa 24 is correct. They've been fighting since day 1, April 4th. But things got too bad on April 8th. And we had to call security.
I orbited you back, Karen.
Because of the relationship issues during the trip, it led hotel staff to step in and separate them into 2 different rooms. We can assume things became physical.
Her body is still in
effort
Africa.
To ease tension.
Her body is still in Africa. They're holding the body. Why don't you let the body go? Right? The parents got to get to Africa. You can't just jump up and snap your fingers and boom, you're in Africa. You got to get shots.
Damn.
You gotta have your money right, because you got to go over there and pay everybody to get answers out of them. It's a situation. That dude is somewhere being questioned, but before he was somewhere being questioned, he wasn't helping them do squat. He was saying and doing the bare minimum with that family. And that's the biggest red flag for me for it all. If your fiance was unalive, the first thing you should do is comfort.
I think they changed their minds.
Help the family any way you can. In my mind, right? Let's listen.
Watch this. There was a disagreement, and the hotel management made the decision to separate them, placing them each in their own room.
Right.
You mean room?
Rooms. Separate.
Commander explained. He added that the hotel staff later, listen to this, contacted authorities after becoming concerned about Ashley's well-being. She was dead when they separated them. That's why they called the police.
Oh, really? She took it there.
That's why they called the police.
I mean, she's just getting everything's all alleged in my live, yo.
There was a disagreement and hope.
Look, everything's all alleged in Miss Knockout's live. This lady is making theories and talking and saying this and that, but I want to say everything's all alleged. Why? Because we weren't there. So at this point, we are all speculating because we weren't there. We weren't in our medical records. We didn't see the room. We didn't see where Joe went, came, nothing. We are all flies on the wall trying to figure this out. So for me, Miss Knockout's live, Everything's all alleged. I haven't heard this lady say alleged yet, but carry on. She's doing a great job, though. What's her name?
Hotel management made the decision to separate them. That's the story we got to go with, right? That's the story the hotel staff has to go with. But then they secretly called the police after they separated and gave a heads up that we're concerned about the young lady and her well-being. See, if I don't tell you she's dead, I can just say I'm concerned. Even if I know she's already dead, I'm going to go ahead and get it documented that I'm concerned about her. And that's crazy because this is the tiny mistake that the police commander made. He added that hotel staff later contacted authorities after becoming concerned, not after finding her dead. Because if we go with the Butler story, we didn't call the police until I saw her hanging. That's BS. The initial report says that y'all called the police after y'all became concerned about Ashley's well-being, indicating there may have been warning signs prior to the incident. She was already dead. But I'm not going to say that. I'm going to just say I'm concerned about the lady in Villa 25. So now when we go back and stage the scene, we already told you we were concerned. And we can flip the script anyway. We can say she did it. She wasn't in her right state of mind. But I'm going to go ahead and raise the flag and just kind of put it out there. Officials say Robinson was still alive when police were alerted. How do you know that? How do you know that?
Well, how do we know anything? If you want to get technical.
She was transported to a hospital for emergency care, but sadly passed away the following day, Friday, April 10th. Watch this. Authorities also confirmed her body remains in Tanzania pending further. So they did the medical examination, which standard procedure before arrangements are made to return her to the United States. What are we waiting on? Now, here we go. Give me 1 second. Let's go to the parents. We're going to go to the initial medical report. I want you to listen very closely.
Period. All right, so everybody keep having fun. Keep sharing fun. Put some hashtags in the room. We're talking about,
all these things.
Ashley Janae. Everybody put hashtags. Everybody get your orange card. We got 70 something. Well, we got 68 people in a row. Bless her 5 minutes knockout so she won't be profiled. All right, so you're getting some good content here. Everybody come on in.
We knew our last Verbo was going to be incredible. We didn't know the hot tub was broken.
But Verbo had our back. On.
With the latest, Cheyenne. Hi, Sarah and Brian. Yeah, Ashley Robinson, she was actually raised locally in South Jersey, and now her death is making headlines across the world. Well, today we spoke to her family in Delaware, who say they aren't getting any answers about what happened to her from officials in Tanzania or her fiance.
My daughter Ashley,
yeah, I know.
She's no longer here with us, and we're trying to find out why.
On April 5th, influencer Ashley Robinson, who goes by Ashley Janae on Instagram, was celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
She was starting the next chapter of her life. She called us and FaceTimed us to share with us her travel.
Ashley's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashley called saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms.
Can the mom, I need to know what time she called you. Oh, I wish I could know what time she called her mom. U.S. time. And then we can translate that or transfer that into local time. And I bet we debunk everything that they're saying.
And Samantha?
See, because only Ashley know, and only Ashley's mother know what time Ashley called. Watch this. This is a small advantage we have here in this case. The butler don't know what time Ashley called her mama. Joe doesn't know what time Ashley called her mama. And the police don't know. Only Ashley's mom who can go back to her phone record, and only Ashley know. Let's continue. We're going to bring up the friend in just a second. Let's get through this real quick. Depending on what time she called that mama, we can establish at least she was still alive at this particular time, because we know the butlers work from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Mama, what time did she call you? You can go under a fake account. Just put it in the chat if you were here. What time did Ashley call you?
Oh, the mother's in her life too? Wow.
The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
Okay. Mama said, April 8th, I got a call. Now, when mom's saying the next day, she's talking about U.S. time, April 9th. Let me do this. Hold on. We're gonna get down to this. But mama, I need times on both days. Watch this. Hold on. I'm looking at the time difference.
I think Africa's
Where's the mom
like
located?
6 hours,
East Coast.
6 hours after us, Africa usually is. So did she call at 8 o'clock p.m.?
Okay.
Or a.m.?
I think the mom is located on the East Coast. Am I correct?
The mother's probably in Jersey.
7 hours ahead.
I knew it was 7 and 6 hours.
What time did Joe call you? What time did Ashley call you?
Rose. Hey, Rose.
Tanzania does not observe daylight savings time, y'all.
Okay.
So Zanzibar is 7 hours ahead of East Coast and 8 hours ahead of Central Daylight Time. Her dad is in Delaware, so that's East Coast. Okay, let's continue.
He told me that Ashley did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital.
How would you know that if you weren't in the room?
Well, maybe
when a crime occurs, nobody knows but the killer.
Right?
How can you know?
But here's what we also don't know. Whoever found her, right, after that, we don't know what happened after that. We don't know if Joe came in the room, looked in, or he came around the room and they said, oh, it's a suicide. Like, we just don't know.
Oh. That Ashley did something to herself if you were in Villa 65.
Well, he called, and here's another thing.
Let's show you.
He called them 11 hours after the incident. So if he called them 11 hours after the incident, he would know something. I feel like that's what he just told them to like hold them with something. Because this is 11 hours afterwards. He's going to know something. Right?
The distance. How would you possibly know? This is Ashley's room at the bottom. Again, I'm going to show you right here. This is Ashley's room close to the waterfront, 21 through 26. This is Joe's room. How would you know she did it if you weren't in there?
Lacey.
How could you even lead with that assumption? Just a question. You don't know. The butler doesn't know. It would be, I found her hanging. We don't know who did what.
Well,
let's continue.
Or if she was even hanging.
That's what I'm saying. If you're innocent, you don't know.
I don't believe nothing that they say.
Hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury resort the couple was staying at.
She died 11 hours prior. If he called you on a night, she probably died 11 hours prior.
Called saying that Ashley passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashley.
The hotel then called. Listen to this very carefully. The hotel called. Joe called first. They got their stories together. And then the hotel called second. Y'all, let me tell you something. The hotel does not have any business calling anyone.
And another thing, how did the hotel get her number? How would the hotel get her number or her parents' number, let alone, because now you got to go to the phone and figure out who her parents' number is. How does the hotel have the parents' number? This is why I don't believe nothing that they saying over there. Emergency contact. Oh, okay. That's true, Wet. That's true. It could be an emergency contact. Do you put an emergency contact down when you go to a hotel room? Because I don't remember doing that, but it's possible over in another country. You know what I'm saying? It's possible in another country. Let's listen.
Regarding what's happening at the hospital. If Ashley died at the hospital, why did the hospital not make the call? Why would the hotel be able to override the hospital? Wouldn't the hospital know the time of death?
Now, that's where the emergency contact is with the hospital. Right? But how would the hospital get the emergency contact if Ashley is incoherent? She would have to be awake and coherent to give them the emergency contact. How would they get her records? They could get her name from the hotel. See, this is all getting sticky and gluey. This is why I don't believe nothing that these people are saying. Nothing. We're going to try to get to David D4VD. All right. So as you know, we'll talk about it for a few seconds because I want to talk about it some point today. But real quick, David, aka D4D, got arrested on murderation charges. Okay, he has a lot of charges and he's facing life in prison. And they took a long time because they had a lot of evidence and it was a particular case. And what the twist is to the case now that a lot of people don't know about is before all of this happened, they were investigating sexual abuse with a minor with him involving Celeste, allegedly. And the theory is that he and his surrounding people offed her to keep her from talking as a witness in that case. So that's going to come out with David. I just want to talk about it a little bit because we didn't get too much. We didn't get to it too much. But we'll get to it in depth in another day. But I want to give you in a nutshell what the update in David is, and it's real serious. He's facing life in prison, right? And the twist is they were investigating him for another case with Celeste, right? Prior to her unalivement, in which she was supposed to be the witness in. So now imagine she's still rolling around with them and they feeling like, oh, she's getting us in trouble. We got to correct this. And look at the way that they felt to correct it. It's a doggone shame. It's a doggone shame, y'all. But we'll get to that in full another day. Hey, Lisa. Hey, LA Lisa. Let's listen to a little bit more of this.
If the hotel called, that means she died at the hotel.
Now that kind of makes sense.
People on Depop really want this done.
It does kind of make sense. Hold on, y'all.
Sell your clothes and make even more money with no selling fees. Download now.
There is a lot about the job that isn't actually that fun that I have now automated away almost entirely. One of them is Sentry. It's kind of a different type of automation where it's going to go through on whatever schedule, whatever cadence, and it picks off one of the top Sentry issues. So what this type of automation does is it allows us to focus on what is going to make the Codex app great to use and useful and joyful.
Come on in, y'all. I know I do long lives. We're going on like 5 hours right now.
Number 2.
Thank you,
Joe.
Lisa.
They got the story together, and Joe. gave
you, LA Lisa.
them
Thank you, Zoe.
your information. We talking a 31-year-old. We're not talking. I get what you're saying. This girl did not list her mom as her emergency. When I went on my vacation, my husband was right there. They did not ask me. I don't recall them asking me. My husband is my emergency contact. You got to remember when Ashley checked into that.
Now, I know personally of the hospital will ask you for an emergency contact when you're filling out the forms, but I've never heard of a hotel asking you for emergency contact. Thank you, Aileen. I'm just going to be honest. Now, I don't know how they do it in Africa. Maybe it's different. I don't know. But I don't remember ever being asked for emergency contact in a hotel. And like I said, Ashley would have to be coherent to fill out those forms to tell them who her emergency contact is in the hospital. And if she was coherent to do that, the first thing they're going to ask her if she had breath in her lungs is what happened. Am I right or wrong? If she had any breath in her lungs and was any kind of alive, any way along the way, they would be asking her what happened. Somebody would be asking her, what happened to you? What happened? I agree with her, what she's saying, that she was unalived back at the hotel. Like that. She was already unalived. Everybody's trying to cover their tracks. Everybody's trying to cover their tracks.
Joe would be her emergency contact. Hospitals don't make calls regarding death. I mean, not hospitals, I'm sorry. The hospital, the authorities would do that, y'all, not the hotel. You out of order. And if the hotel did it, it's because she died there. The police or the hospital. Hotels do not make calls.
But even if she was unalive there, right? How still would Joe would now this is making sense. Hold up, y'all. Now here's something that makes sense, right? If she went to the hospital, she wouldn't be coherent enough to give her emergency contact. But if she was unalived at the hospital, they might have asked Joe for her mother and her father's number. Because technically, if you're the boyfriend and you're to see it, the fiance, on paper, you are not the next of kin. If you're a boyfriend and you're a fiance, you are not the next of kin, not yet, until you marry and sign that marriage certificate. That makes her mother and her father her next of kin. So what she's saying is starting to make sense only because I could see the hospital asking for somebody to call because they have an incident report to fill out, who's the next of kin to her, to let them know that she passed away. And the boyfriend and the fiance is not the next of kin on paper. Legally, on paper, he is just the boyfriend or the fiance. That's not on paper. That's vocal. Husband is on paper. So they would have just talked to him. But the mother and the father is the next of kin. So I agree with her that she probably was unalived at the hospital and they asked Joe for her emergency contact, her mother and her father's number. Right? Does it make sense?
Even with Kanika Jenkins, the authorities,
Kanika Jenkins,
the medical examiners make the calls. Y'all don't see this? Right before our eyes. That girl died in that hotel. Thank you. Hotels do not make death calls. Okay, even if it is her emergency contact, hotels do not make those kind of calls. I mean, that's fine.
Well, how would it? So if you're away, right? Say Joe wasn't there. You go away by yourself. You're unalived. Who you gonna call? It's not gonna be Ghostbusters. You're gonna have to call the next of kin, the brother, the sister, the family, to say, "Hey, come get this body. You have a body over here." Right? So I believe that they can make an emergency call if put in certain situations.
See, contact.
Thank you
I would
for
have to
the
go back and
100K,
list and see
y'all.
what I put, but my husband
Right?
was right there with me. Now on a cruise ship when we travel, and I travel frequently, yeah, I'll put my best friend or somebody that's not on the ship with me, but I'm gonna have to go back and look and see if I put anybody as emergency contact. But even if, right, that's neither here nor there. I don't want to get stuck there. What I do want to talk about is the technicality, policies, and procedures. Hotels do not call family or next of kin to announce that your loved one is gone. Ashley, I strongly believe
would think that the cop would do it.
Died.
I would think that's the cops,
Y'all
the
act like
police
we-
jobs, the
I get what
government.
you're saying. Oh, this is not the U.S. But listen, we're not the best of the best. There's still rules and regulations. Shanquilla Robinson died. And guess who called?
Who?
The morgue.
Oh, see?
Not the hotel. Even though they knew she was dead. So y'all, listen, these people are not that far behind. Hospitals or hospitals or the police call. Joe called first. The hotel called second. You're out of order. You don't make death calls. You're not even trained.
Joe barely called
to make those kind of calls. And we know you're not, because if we go with what the butler said he took off running when he saw Ashley. So your staff is not even trained professionally to host these types of calls. I call bullshit. Ashley died in that hotel. Ashley died in Villa 25. We just need to know, did she die? Or was she in the process of having her life taken when the call was made from Villa 24? That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. What I would like to do now, I want to open up the lines for Ashley's friend. Let me see if she's still.
All right, y'all. So we ain't gonna go through the whole thing now. Okay, I'm gonna dip off. I have to do something at 8:00. All right. We went to almost like 5 hours today. We've been on almost 4 hours and change. Right. So we're gonna continue tomorrow. We got some David updates. Hopefully we'll get to that. We got some more updates with Ashley. All right. I just got 10 minutes to get to a meeting. All right. But we will be back. All right. Everybody, you can rewatch the live now on my YouTube the Tubesy. You can rewatch the lives on Twitchy, the XE, the Face to the Booksies. All right. You can rewatch the replay back if you miss anything. And we will pick this up tomorrow. There's somewhere I have to start early. Well, today I got on late because I was doing some things. So I got on extra late today, right? But I want to start in the morning eventually and come on 2 times a day because there's so much to talk about. There's so much. We didn't even get to Trump. We got to get to David. We got more Ashley updates. Okay, we got a lot of stuff transpiring. We got a few Nancy Guthrie. We got to go back to that case. That case is moving slow. All right. So we'll be back here probably tomorrow morning early. All right. We'll be back with more updates. And plus, I'll be putting more updates up on my page. Okay. I'll try to step my post game up and put more hot topics and updates on my page. I did put a few of them. All right. You can check out the last couple of posts I had. All right. So I will be back on early tomorrow. Everybody, thank you for joining the Miss Knockout Show. And I will see y'all early tomorrow.
It's the Miss Knockout Show on the airwaves. So like, if I share, if I bless, if I the flow. It's the Miss Knockout Show. Now you already know. Hot topics, music, info, and more. If you ain't tapped in, what you came here for? MKO got the vibe, that's a full takeover. From beast to biz talk, yeah, the queen stay in clover. Trending every lane, I'm the glow you can't block. When I drop gems, whole chat go shock. We don't do brokeify, now we amplify. Stay blessed if I let the energy fly. Hit that tapify, keep it all in the flow. Cause it's a Miss Knockout Show. Knockout Show. Hot topics, beats and the glow. You rockin' with Miss Knockout. terrified, let's fuck.